What's up guys, Rogue9 here, and I've been seeing some recent Twitter debates discussing which of the two thick boys, that's Rook and Doc, is better, and also arguing that the two characters are currently too similar to each other. So in this video, I want to explore the stats and the abilities behind each of the GIGN defenders to see how similar they really are and which one of them is the better choice. Let's go! Now the first myth I want to dispel right here is that Rook and Doc are the thick boys of Rainbow Six Siege. If we consult the table of operator weights and heights, we can see that at 72 and 74 kilograms respectively, Rook and Doc are in fact below the overall average weight of 74.5 kilograms, and the same goes for their calculated body mass index stats. If we go one step further and filter out the female operators, then you can see that both of the GIGN defenders are actually amongst the lightest characters in the game and come in significantly below the 79 kilogram average for male Rainbow Six Siege operators. Given this undeniable evidence, I hereby declare that Rook and Doc shall from now on be referred to as the small boys. And with that incredibly important discussion out of the way, let's get down to comparing gadgets. Let me first remind you of exactly how each gadget functions, because the fact is that especially Rook's plates are actually a lot more complex than most players might realize. But before we get to that, here's my face. This video is brought to you by Drop, formerly known as Massdrop, and for the last week I've been testing out a product they only just sent me, the Sennheiser HD58X Jubilee headphones. If, like me, you use a separate microphone for communicating in-game, then headphones really are the way to go, and the HD58Xs have convinced me with the high-quality audio they provide. I've tested them in a number of games, including Rainbow Six Siege, and I also made sure to test them with music, and across the board these headphones excel with the great clarity and depth of sound they provide, and at the end of the day the speakers are made by Sennheiser, so no surprise there really. Another thing that really stands out to me is how snugly they fit. Once you adjust the headband, they will sit rock solidly on your head no matter how long your gaming session, and the plush padding makes sure that you are comfortable throughout. As of right now, Drop has sold more than 28,000 of these headphones, and 1,221 customers have rated the product at an average of 4.8 out of 5 stars, with 93% stating that they would recommend them to a friend. So if you're looking to upgrade your audio experience, the Sennheiser HD58X offer great quality at a very reasonable price, and I'm more than happy to personally recommend them. Check them out on the Drop website by clicking on the link in the description below. Many thanks to Drop for supporting the channel, and with that, back to the video. Rook can put down a satchel of 5 armor plates that can be equipped by defenders and attackers alike. Standard practice is to place this satchel down immediately at the beginning of the prep phase so that all of your teammates are fully armored up by the beginning of the action phase. If you're playing as Rook and you forget to place down your bag immediately, or if you're playing as another defender and forget to pick up your plate before the action phase, you will most likely receive a friendly reminder from one of your teammates.
Wait, is there still armor on the floor? Who didn't pick up their armor? What's going on here? We're gonna lose this round. It's all your fault. This is gonna be your fault. What the hell do you think you're doing?
Once equipped, each armor plate will have a couple of functions. They will reduce incoming damage by 20% for all operators, which basically means that level 1 armors turn into 3 armors, 2 armors turn into 3.8 armors, and 3 armors turn into 4.6 armors. On average, this will maybe allow you to soak up 1 extra bullet to the chest at close range and maybe 2 extra shots at long range. But of course, headshots are still one-hit kills, and any other type of damage such as fall damage, explosive damage, poison damage, etc. will be unchanged. Beyond reducing the damage you take, the armor plates will also guarantee you a down but not out against anything but headshots. So even if you're at 1 HP and you take a full 150 damage from an explosive charge, you will still survive it. Will this be of any benefit to you? Well, it depends. If you go down in a gunfight while in the open and face to face with an opponent, then no, probably not. But if you're in cover and get downed by a well-aimed hand grenade or the last explosion of a fuse charge, then there may be a very good chance for your teammates to get you back up. In addition to these benefits, Rook plates will also slow the bleed out process by 50%, giving you more time to creep your way to safety. Doc's Stim pistol also has a number of functions. It can be used at range, has 3 charges, and can be used on a living operator to refill 40 HP with each shot, up to a maximum of 140 HP overheal that will decay at 1 HP per second down to 100 points. It can also be used to revive down but not out players and will refill 75% of their health rather than the measly 20% you get from manual revives nowadays. Filling up a decent chunk of health when reviving is great, but the chances of being able to use that ability in any given round are quite slim. So the most frequent use you will see from Doc players is replenishing a teammate's, or more likely their own health, after a fight or using the overheal function before a fight. So that's how the two devices work, and the question now is, how do we quantify these abilities to try to compare their value to the team? One thing we could try to do is see how much additional damage they will allow the team to soak up. So, how much damage can each operator allow your team to take? For Doc, this is pretty straightforward. Usually you will get up to 3 stims used to grant 40 HP each, resulting in a total of 120 HP regained. If all of the stars align and Lord Tachanka smiles on you, you could theoretically revive up to 3 players on your team, giving you a total HP regain of 225. But the chances of that are extremely low, so let's stick with up to 120 HP, and only if Doc manages to survive long enough to be able to use all 3 stims. The value of Rook is a little more difficult to estimate since it reduces bullet damage instead of granting extra health. 20% less damage means that when plates are picked up, all incoming bullets receive a damage multiplier of 0.8, and if we take the multiplicative inverse of that, we receive an additional health pool of 1.25 or plus 25%. For level 1 armor operators, that of course means a theoretical 125 health. But since the other 2 armor levels already take less damage from each bullet fired at them, it means that level 2 armors would theoretically gain 27.78 HP, and level 3 armors gain 31.25 HP from picking up Rook's plates. But I'm becoming unnecessarily complicated here, because if we're going to differentiate the value of the plates for all 3 different types of armor, then we really need to do the same for Doc, because 40 HP given to a level 1 armor is worth less than 40 HP given to a level 2 or 3 armor, since each hit point is 11% or 25% more valuable respectively to those levels of armor. So basically, because of the damage modifiers for the armor levels, those 40 HP are actually worth 44.444 HP for level 2 armors and 50 HP for level 3 armors. Make sense? The conclusion of all that nonsense that I've just been talking is that both Rook and Doc are more valuable when they use their gadgets on teammates with higher armor levels, but if we compare the additional efficacy of both gadgets, we can see that they gain the exact same advantage, and so what we can do here to simplify our conclusion is just ignore the armor levels altogether. As long as the respective gadgets are used on the same targets, their helpfulness is comparable, and to keep things nice and simple, let's stick to level 1 armor teammates going forward. And now that we've established this, time to compare. Doc can provide between 3 times 40 and 3 times 75 points of additional health, usually provided retroactively, and Rook can provide 5 times 25 additional hit points up front. That means that the total extra health pool from Rook is 125 HP in total, and from Doc is between 120 and 225. That means that in theory, looking only at additional health, a skilled Doc player can add more benefit to the team than a Rook player. As long as Doc is able to use all 3 stim shots and at least one of them is used to resurrect a downed teammate or himself, or if he manages to resurrect 2 teammates in a round, the additional health he has granted will always be more than the maximum support that Rook can provide. But of course there is a significant risk-reward trade-off here. Trolling teammates aside, there is almost nothing that can go wrong when you play as Rook. Plonk the plates down immediately and everyone gets a guaranteed health boost of 25%. Doc, on the other hand, needs to stay alive and needs his teammates to survive their fights if he's going to get the most out of his gadget. And then of course there is the guaranteed down but not out and the slower bleed out advantages that come with the plates. Without having access to the hard data that would allow me to draw a firm conclusion here, I would guess even at higher skill levels, the chances of successfully getting the most out of Doc and therefore making him more valuable to the team than Rook are actually quite low. My personal recommendation when trying to help the team would therefore be to take the safe pick and stick with Rook most of the time. But that doesn't mean that there is no argument to be made for Doc either. If you're in a game where the team isn't really communicating all that well and you can't rely on your teammates that much, then Doc may be the better pick after all. The benefit that Doc brings is that you can focus your support on yourself or just one reliable teammate. For example, if you're going to play mostly solo and your plan is to peak aggressively, then Doc can allow you to give yourself up to 120 or even 155 extra hit points throughout the round, and that will be more valuable to you than the mere 25% boost provided by a single plate. So there you have it. Even though Doc can theoretically provide up to almost double the health boost compared to Rook, this utility comes with significant additional risk and you may well end up providing less support to the team as Doc in most rounds. But if you're playing solo and you need to rely on yourself, then Doc may well be the better choice. Yes, both operators are similar and actually look almost identical, but once you really dig into the specifics of each of their abilities, the choice between the two becomes far more situational and nuanced than you might have thought at first. Over to you, which of the two GIGN small boys is your favorite pick? Let me know in the comment section below, and with that, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and I will see you in the next episode.